Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Day number 243 in this war. It is October the 24th, and just like last night, Jeannie and I were telling you to pay attention to the 24th. Why? That's because today is 8 months. This phase of the war in Ukraine began on February the 24th, and here we are, unbelievably, at October the 24th, 9:01 p.m. Eastern, 6:01 in California, 4:01 out in Ukraine. Tonight, we're going to be focused on some very, very serious topics. Going to give an update on the war quickly. We're going to move to 3 or 4 topics that have been major today. And then we're going to focus on the drones and Iran, Russia, Belarus, of course, Ukraine being in the middle, Israel, Syria, and you are tonight going to have the opportunity to hear Zelensky's full address to Israel. We were considering whether to play the entire thing or not. It's 8 minutes or so. It's worth every second, and probably very few places on the World Wide Web you can hear his entire declaration, request, comments to Israel in English. We've got that ready for you, and it's powerful. You do not want to miss that. Without any further ado, though, let me roll my man in here. We're going to get started. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for commenting, sharing, liking, purchasing products, giving money, and moderators doing your job. Great community. Good morning, sir.
Good evening.
Welcome. 8 months.
Yeah, exactly.
8 months. Tonight, we're focusing on drones and Zelenskyy, as I said. But let's jump right in and get going here. We're going to begin tonight with just a quick update in the East. This is a place where you and I spend a lot of time. We will spend more time in the future, hopefully further east when we go back the next time, as our guys are taking territory. Ukraine taking good territory up north still, beyond Seversk, north of Bakhmut. Russia taking a little bit of territory toward Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Marinka. As we've said, it's just a back and forth, and even though we're focused on big topics, the war is raging on the front lines every day.
Yeah, it's a really hard time there, that territory, and the battle goes non-stop. But I mean, a really serious situation there. But it's hard to separate the situation on the south, on the Kherson area, on the close to Nikolaev area, and everywhere is a serious situation. But yes, the private, let's say, it's not the army, but the private, how you call it?
The Wagner?
Yeah, the Wagner.
The Wagner.
The money, they fight.
The mercenaries out of Russia.
Yeah. Mercenaries. This is the territory where they fight. So not easy time there, and our guys staying strong, and we support them, we believe in them, and we'll help.
Yeah, there was even a report today, and we're not sharing it because we're trying to stay focused. If we shared everything we saw, we'd be streaming 24/7. But today, the Wagner was in Turkmenistan recruiting prisoners to join their Wagner forces. It's unbelievable.
About 500.
Yeah,
it's got there.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Let's jump down to the south. Since you said that, this would be the Nova Kakhovka Dam. This is an aerial image for everyone. You can see the green arrow there pointing downriver, which is the Dnieper River, which would be toward Kherson. And that is the dam that is mined. That's the locks that are mined. But over the last 24 hours, where the bullseye is, 3 missiles hit the hydroelectric plant. Not on the dam, not on the bridge, just adjacent to it. So it's under constant assault, and it's a focal point right now in this war.
Yeah, it was the plan, and they did plan in the beginning, yes, I know, to destroy the dam partly, and having it like that, I mean, like showing it that you see what's going on. Surely they will try to blame Ukrainians and in all of that. But at this moment, the good thing is the world, I believe, sees the truth and about that. We
Correct.
started to, and I hope it will be spread, especially if people will share the videos, the programs they see, the news, the reality, the facts. If they will share with each other, I mean the good side of people, the light side.
Correct.
This it will be spreaded. The truth will be known everywhere. It's
Well,
important.
let's go down that river now, and let's
Mhm.
spend 2, 3, 4 minutes on Kherson. But I want to preface that by showing about 20 seconds of one of the clowns talking about what's happening in Kherson. This is the propaganda side out of Russia.
Вот эти ждуны, которые осуществляют цели указания для противника, они не являются комбатантами, это нон-комбатанты. Значит, на них не распространяется Женевская конвенция. С другой стороны, это четко враг, диверсант. Это одна из форм диверсии. И поэтому подлежат уничтожению. Это однозначно. Военный трибунал к стенке. Только так.
So let's just lay the preface out. What that guy is saying is, and this is all preparatory for what's happening in Kherson. The people that are staying there that are not evacuating, and we can look at it right here. Here's Kherson. You can see the green arrows coming out to the West Bank and the green arrow going down to Crimea. This is where they are evacuating and or stealing people. The blue arrows is where Ukrainian forces are pushing into Kherson. The red is the approximate line of control. And this guy going ahead and laying the groundwork that if you stay there, yeah, you're not a soldier, so you're not subject to Geneva Convention, but what you are is a saboteur of the enemy combatant. And now we can just do tribunals, we can take you out, we can do whatever. This is what's happening in Kherson. The other thing, and I'm going to show this, Zhenya, and then let you go on Kherson, is right now, everything that is of value culturally, economically, educationally, socially, in Kherson is being stolen. I watched a movie one time called Monument Men. It was about how Nazi Germany stole all of the valuable things throughout Europe during World War II. And then there was a group of soldiers that went back in, hunted for them, found them. It was a really good movie. But that's what we're seeing all over again. So I know that you have some thoughts today on Kherson, what's going on, even about switching uniforms from the Russian soldiers, etc. So lay that on us and update us on Kherson.
Okay, the Kherson is the place with the history, good history, and the occupants. It's their nature to steal, and this is why they all the museum, all the important places. I mean, which is important, like in heritage of the history for Ukrainians. It's they're taking it out to Russia, and because this is the nature, the commenting, why you stealing our monuments, the comment of local Russian, dummy, let's say, he said, "Oh, we are not stealing, we are evacuating everything. We're just saving it." So for the then yes, there is effects of that the Russian soldiers are changing their uniforms to the civilians garments. Let's say, I mean, what for? Sometimes there is different reasons. Sometimes with that look, they're trying to escape with the refugees, let's say, or with the people like who are moving or forcing to move. The other thing, it's if you will remember the words of Putin, he said one day, he said, "We will place the civilians right in front of our tanks it will be like Ukrainian civilians, and then we will see how Ukrainians will kill their people or not.
Mm-hmm.
This way we will be pushing. This is the plans they want to do in Kherson, using some, probably maybe it's the plans that they can pretend that the civilians make this picture, trying to make this picture, fake this picture, that the civilians are fighting. They really don't want to see Ukrainians. And right before, if you remember, they said, okay, they announced, we are starting the group of local territorial defense. Why? Now all of these soldiers will be changed, look like civilians, and they will create a picture that Kherson are fighting against the Ukrainians.
Mm-hmm.
And if surely, if it be people with the guns, and you will be shooting in Ukrainian army, yes, it will be obvious this is Russian soldiers, and they will be eliminated. And I think these pictures as well will be twisted.
The problem is, as you just said, the twisting. When a Russian soldier would don normal civilian clothing, and then, let's say, they're shelled, they're killed, and then Russia goes, look, Ukraine is killing Ukrainian citizens. What happens is, unless people like you and I and other good places of information are telling the truth, a lot of the media of the world will run with that and say, I know those Ukrainians were some bad guys. That's why we have to be ahead of this. We're at day 243. We're telling you already what possibly could happen with the advancement on Kherson, with the strategy there. Personally, I think Kherson is a trap. I think it's a trap to put bad spin, bad look towards Ukraine, whether it's the dam, civilians. It's like they're using it as a trap. We'll see, but that's my feeling.
Yeah. This is, and one other thing that some international, let's say, observers, that they all the time they're trying to create this pressure. Hey, go on, go Ukrainian army, go. And yes, we are happy when Ukrainian territory getting back to Ukraine, as it should be. But on the international level, as well, it can be a pressure. Hey, guys, go. But no, if we are responsible for the people's lives, from on our people on occupied territory, and our army first. So we need to think about that, and we need just to trust and to support the way we can, and expect.
And try to tell the future. Try to tell the future. Try to tell the truth ahead of time. The real number that I have seen is 95% of Khersonians support Ukraine. 95%. That's the number. So, world, you can evaluate for yourself.
And couple facts, like, for example, the exchange rate for Russian. There in Kherson, ruble going down like almost to zero. They lose their power. Why? In expectations of coming of this is reality. And the owners of the fuel stations and so on, some of them already said, "Oh, hryvnia is okay. We accept hryvnia all the time." Don't worry, it's already there. You may check these facts.
Regardless, something is going on in Kherson this week will be very important, and we will be watching it. Let's go to the next one. Red Cross. I have searched this out. This is the Red Cross in Russia, supporting, raising funds, raising supplies for the Russian terrorists. My problem with this, it's not that a nation would support its troops. I don't have a problem with that. If that's what you want to do, it's your nation. But I confirmed the Red Cross in every nation works under the International Red Cross. So you have the International Red Cross letting these nations do whatever they want to do. And we know this is what they're doing in Russia. That's what it says, raising funds to support their troops, take care of them. And for most of what I witnessed, I didn't see the Red Cross doing hardly anything inside of Ukraine. So this is an organization that they do a lot of good things. I don't want to throw them under the bus, but no bueno.
Yeah, if Red Cross, it's a global Red Cross, and on official website it says the next, that the Red Cross is in not just in the middle, it's on their website. They are doing it, saving money, getting money for using of support of family of Russian terrorists,
Correct.
which is living there in a lot of times not well cared families, leaving their places, going to other nation, other territory to occupy it, to to terrorize, to threat with a nuclear war, to threat with the mining the nuclear the power plant and something like that. So the Red Cross believes it's important in this moment to support these families.
Correct.
Like, I mean,
and regardless, they're under the umbrella of the International Red Cross. That's a
Yes.
tragedy. That's the problem. Let's go to this topic because we want to get to the drones and President Zelenskyy. The nuclear situation is getting a little hotter and hotter daily. In fact, this statement, let's start with this, and then we're going to go to a graphic that Russia released today. But here's a statement out of a representative of the Russian, I was going to call them mafia, the Russian criminal organization there in the Kremlin. Check this out, talking about Ukraine's desire to be rogue, get nukes. It's Zelenskyy's fault. Here you go.
Стремление нынешнего киевского режима к обладанию ядерного оружия уже человечество видело на протяжении нескольких шагов, начиная с того дня, когда президент Зеленский выступил на конференции по безопасности в Мюнхене, и тогда уже были понятны его амбиции обладать ядерным оружием. Мир не должен этого допустить.
So
So
how is possible? How is possible? The people who were so fighting for Ukraine would get, would become of non-nuclear, the nation without nuclear weapon, being a guarantee for the sovereignty and the protection. This country attacks this thousands and hundreds of thousands of people killing, and then in this moment say the world has to make sure that they will not get the nuclear weapon. Why?
when we came back from the video, you saw both of us laughing because we just know the history behind this so much. It's hilarious, but this is what the world sees. It was on TASS. Remind me if I'm correct or not, but didn't Ukraine give up their nuclear weapons?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. We gave them up. We're not trying to become.
No, the whole world needs to make sure that Ukraine are not aggressive. Why? Because we as a guarantee in killing the Ukraine now, robbing them and stealing, killing their people because they have no nuclear weapon. So the world needs to hold this, Ukraine, all these people, but they would not, at this moment, the Russia is out of that circle who has a right to comment anything about Ukrainian weapon in forever.
Can I? Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Let's make sure that this rogue regime under Zelenskyy doesn't get nuclear weapons and go rogue because, well, they're not the nation that invaded us. We invaded them. They don't kill our civilians, but we kill theirs. They don't feed the world anymore because we stole all of their grain and we feed the world. And they're just really bad people and their language isn't real. So make sure they do not get nukes. What a joke. But the world sees it.
Why he starts from Zelenskyy only? Why he falls on him only? Why? Because 2014 they already annexed part of our territory. And yes, so he just disagreed that Zelenskyy is fighting.
That's it.
Yeah, oh really? He does like, I love it.
I'm telling you, it was a good day for us to see that.
I mean, he's appealing, hey, the world, hey, please stop them.
Well, look at this. It pushes me to this. Russia drops this document out that says, okay, there's going to be a disaster at Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, but we've already calculated this is where all the damage is going to go. Folks, if you look at that red cloud, that's the border of Russia. So what's going to happen is when there's a nuclear disaster at Zaporozhye, Energodar in the yellow, that Ukraine does, right? The radioactive fallout is going to push up against the border of Russia, and then this invisible wall is going to drop, and it's going to turn and go to Europe. Folks, this is real stuff that's being released. It's unbelievable.
The terrible thing that the Russian people, they believe it. I mean, they believe that if Putin shows or some their like authorities showing the map, and it says it is safe for Russia, doesn't matter what kind of the crazy things will happen in Ukraine, it's safe for us, for Russia, because we've seen the map. Okay. Oh, yeah, correct. Lukashenko, he's seen the map. He had the map in the beginning, knowing that some 4 points. They were like, oh, they loving maps.
They love maps. They just, oh, well, don't forget the other map where they went ahead and redid the world map, because now Donetsk, Lugansk, Zaporozhye, and Kherson is all Russia. I mean, they just run the maps of the world. I'm pretty sure that all the mapping programs in the world are based at the Kremlin. They know everything. Let's move on to the big topic of the day. Two of them. Number one is drones, and then number two is Zelensky's statement to Israel and the world. So first of all, I wanted to show everybody today, look at this drone right here. This is Ukrainian. This is called the Black Hornet. It is, that's the dimensions of it, but easier to see here. He just holds it in his hand. Really cool for reconnaissance. Just wanted to show it to you tonight. Black Hornet, Ukrainian. He holds it in the palm of his hand.
It can work in the night time.
Yep.
It can investigate. I mean, like the looking and checking the movable objects. It can fly up to, seems to be 1 kilometer.
2 kilometer range.
2 kilometer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It can go with GPS,
Good.
no GPS. It can work minus 10 Celsius to plus 43 Celsius. It can take video, photo. It has night vision. It has infrared. It is an amazing little piece right there.
And it's already there. Thank you.
Yeah, it's working. Well, let's go to this one now. Let's stay on the drone topic. Iran. They're in Belarus training the drone operators. They're in Crimea training the drone operators. And they're in Russia training the drone operators. And we know that today, Iran signed another agreement with Russia to ship them Arash 2s, which is a different type of drone. And I know many people out there, Jane, you're wondering, how many drones does Iran have? Do you know?
No, I have no idea. The about the biggest, I mean, quantity they supplied to Russia, it's for sure over 2,000. But it's just one kind. There is much more kinds they have, and it's the question. It's a good questions now for the world how it's possible that for these drones, thousands and thousands, they could. I mean, the Iran, which was banned in a lot of areas
Mm-hmm.
under the sanctions, international sanctions, he had possibility to buy from the quite powerful nations the parts, the engines, the
Correct.
logic boards, processors, the CPUs. The question, it's a good question. It shows the crisis in the world. Nothing is transparent. There is no unity. The army is not ready. The world are not ready for anything. This challenge, comparing the future challenges, are not serious because at this moment, Russia, with their technologies, made a mess in the world.
Yes. Made a mess.
So
Well,
what about if it be like if would be something? Okay, let's say if Russia is buying the drones from Iran, it means the Iran has better technologies in that area. It's a fact. That and how much more could be things we don't know yet, which are in preparation, and this is like
may I ask
yeah.
you a question?
Mm-hmm.
You made a statement that Russia is buying Iranian drones. That's
Mm-hmm.
a fact.
Yes.
What is Iran receiving from Russia? Do we think it's money only?
No, it's
Of
like
course not.
it would be the answer of my daughter.
Okay.
Because Iran has, I mean, surely from the that in that situation, this country in with their crazy run or like yes, forgetting the nuclear weapon. Surely there is not just money. Plus, these drones are not expensive,
They're
especially
not.
for Russia. So the question. I mean, what kind of things can bring Iran to new risks on worldwide level? For they would be ready to go against of previous decisions and sanctions. I mean, trying to ignore it. No, they're not ignoring. They know everything they're doing, but they got something from Russia, probably technologies, the
Of
nuclear
course,
weapon
technology. Mm-hmm.
technologies, and this is just, I mean, the
Well,
time will see. I hope
time will
the good
see.
guy is working. Yes.
Just remember who's nuclear and who's not. That's all
Mm-hmm.
you need to know. All right. Now,
Mm-hmm.
with that said, I asked a question. Do we know how many? The answer is no. I've been hunting all day to find any resource that knows the numbers. Nobody knows the number of drones that Iran has. What we do know is they started their drone program in 1985 during war in Afghanistan. They saw that as the future of war. They were ahead of the curve. 95, 05, 15, 22 for 37 years. They're ahead of the curve. They've got tons of drones, and with or without sanctions, they can even produce them on their own. They are having parts coming from different parts of the country, but take a look at this. This is just a list of the different type of drones from Iran, Iran's military. I mean, hello, look at all this, all different types of drones that they have. Some of these drones only cost $10,000 to manufacture, to bring death and destruction. 10,000 USD. When you start going through site after site, it's all analysis of Iran's drones, deadly drones. You do a Google search on drones and just go forever. How Ukraine's armies pioneering anti-drone warfare. Will alleged drone sales to Russia impact Iran's nuclear deal? Israeli striking Iranian drone assembly parts. It just goes on and on and on. This is becoming a main topic in this war, the drones.
Okay, one question.
Yeah.
Is it the fact that these drones having the parts from different parts of the world, and it's not just the one or two, it's like the mass, the quantity, huh?
We know for a fact right now, Ukraine is taking these drones apart. I'm sorry. We know for a fact some of them have engines, little motors in them from Australia. Some of them have computer parts from the United States. Some of them have parts from France. Some of them have parts from China. It's worldwide where these parts have come from.
What? The Iran, during that time of supplying from all of these countries, Iran with that parts, and this is that it's not the part you taking from the bicycle and using for the drone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it means that in all of these countries were some ways and some people with the interest to supply these parts to Iran. The Iran, which was under the sanctions. The question to you: how many things we don't know about possible prepared drones, the parts in all of these places still there, but much more. I mean, still there in warehouses, storages.
Correct.
The question, and here is the international safety level.
I personally believe, with everything I've been reading, looking at, doing this every day, that the amount of drones and parts that Iran has stored is shocking. This is how they want to fight warfare, whether it's in regard to Israel or other nations of the world, now helping Russia and Ukraine. This drone warfare, they were one of the first. They were visionaries on drone warfare. There's no question they're loaded, absolutely loaded. Now, what that pushes us to is this: Israel being aggressive today. First time in a long time, they've run a daytime airstrike. They struck again at a Iranian supply depot there in Damascus at the Syrian International, or the Damascus International Airport. Israel is being very aggressive. We're this close, folks. We're this close to a major problem. With that said, that pushes me, Zhenya, to this. This is where we'll close out tonight. Titled the program, Drone War in Ukraine, Zelenskyy makes appeal, not to the world, but to Israel. We have some flags there: Ukraine, Israel, Russia, Iran, Syria, U.S. I should have had China's flag there. Zelenskyy was very direct to Israel today. And I think the world needs to see it. The world needs to see it.
Yeah, I believe the world needs to see and feel this situation, and the world needs to realize that there is, let's say, comparing it with the Russian, there is this kind of meaning which we call Russian peace. The Russian people, Russian forces are bringing Russian peace. What they bring in, you can check Bucha and other places. You can check. You can come and look what's going on right now in Ukraine, in any place. Talk straight to people. What is Russian peace? So the question, when these fans of this Russian peace in your country, when these people who are ready, to throw a knife in your bag, to put it in the countries who are supplying the terrorist countries. It was not a secret about who Iran is. Oh, most peaceful nation, yes. They're bringing the peace, yes, everywhere, fighting for stopping the wars, yes. No.
That's right.
So it means we need to make sure, like, think about that, what's going on. And I believe that the Putin, he wanted to change it and bring the new world order.
Mhm.
I believe the world with the time has to admit that the stability and the system the world had doesn't work.
It's over.
It didn't
Correct.
work.
Correct.
And it will bring something new. And I hope it will bring something new for protecting people, not killing, for fighting against of aggression and not supporting the aggressors like we have at this moment. And we had look at the beginning of this war, February, March. We were begging the world, please help us. Some countries, as she said, no.
And here we
They
are
already,
8 months later.
yes.
Well, I think you set the stage perfectly for President Zelenskyy. This is going to extend our stream a little bit tonight. I think this is about 8 minutes, and then Jania and I will come back and summarize and tell you guys good night. But listen, this is worth watching. I really wanted to clip out 60 seconds or 90 seconds and just show a piece. No, the world needs to see the statement that President Zelenskyy gave today to Israel. Here it
Пані та
is.
панове, народу Ізраїлю, я записую це звернення до вас по завершенню чергового засідання Ставки Верховного Головнокомандувача. Ставка – це найвищий орган в Україні, який забезпечує колегіальне керівництво обороною нашої держави. Військові, розвідка, керівники спецслужб, правоохоронних органів, спікер парламенту, міністри та інші найвищі посадовці, усі, від кого залежить захист України, беруть участь в цих засіданнях. Саме у такому форматі ми ухвалюємо ключові оборонні рішення, заслуховуємо звіти про бойові дії і розвиток наших оборонних операцій, про загрози національній безпеці. І саме там, на ставці, все частіше і частіше звучать слова, які постійно звучать і в Ізраїлі, коли ви говорите про виживання своєї держави. Це слова Іран, іранські. Щоразу вони означають те, що ви всі повністю розумієте. Вони означають смертельну загрозу. Я наведу вам лише один приклад зараз. Це сталося 17 жовтня, коли Росія здійснила чергову терористичну атаку. Того дня в українському небі було 15 російських крилатих ракет і 42 іранських ударні дрони. Мішенями стали електростанції, інші об'єкти критичної інфраструктури і навіть житлові будинки. Один з таких багатоквартирних житлових будинків в Києві. Після удару іранського дрона немає половини будинку. 4 поверхи зруйновані від підвалу до даху. 120 років він простояв. Його збудував Іосиліан Лев, тогочасний підприємець, староста однієї з синагог. Будинок витримав Першу світову війну, хвилі терору, Другу світову війну. Він бачив стільки усього, а був знищений іранським дроном, як і багато інших об'єктів в Україні. Того страшного дня загинули 5 людей, хоча насправді 6. Дрон вбив молоду родину, яка жила в одній з квартир того будинку в Києві, хлопця і дівчину. Дівчина готувалась стати мамою. Україна тепер постійно зазнає таких російських терористичних атак. Мерзенний звук польоту іранських дронів щоночі звучить у нашому небі. Загалом, за даними нашої розвідки, Росія замовила в Ірані близько 2000 шахедів одного виду іранської терористичної зброї. А ще ракети, ще інші дрони. Іранські інструктори приїхали, щоб навчати росіян користуватися дронами. Як став можливим цей їхній альянс? Я вам скажу, Росія програє нам у реальному зіткненні на полі бою. Путінська армія не вміє воювати. Ми б'ємо її на нашій землі так, що вона змушена забирати свої контингенти навіть з інших регіонів, які намагались дестабілізувати. Зверніть увагу, російська присутність в Сирії суттєво скоротилася завдяки нашим оборонцям, які б'ють окупантів. Але, на жаль, у нас немає свого залізного купола. У нас поки що немає сучасної та ефективної системи ППО і ПРО, яка могла би убезпечити наше небо. Тому Росія і сподівається терором у повітрі компенсувати програші на землі. Росія б'є такими ракетами, як С-300. Використовує їх, щоб бити по Харкову, по Миколаєву, по інших містах щодня і щоночі, щоб спалювати міста будинок за будинком, вулицю за вулицею. Куди не може дістати цими ракетами, Росія б'є калібрами і протикорабельними Х-101 Київ, Одеса, Запоріжжя, Дніпро. Знищує ними енергетику, транспорт, склади з продовольством, торгівельні центри, соціальну інфраструктуру. За 8 місяців повномасштабної війни Росія застосувала майже 4,5 тисячі ракет проти нас. І запас ракет у них скорочується. Ось чому Росія пішла шукати доступну зброю по інших країнах для продовження терору. Знайшла в Ірані. У мене запитання до вас. Як ви думаєте, а чим Росія платить Ірану за це? Невже Іран зацікавили просто гроші? Вірогідно, зовсім не гроші, а російське сприяння іранській ядерній програмі. Вірогідно, саме такий сенс у їхнього альянсу. І цей їхній альянс просто не відбувся би, якби свого часу ваші політики ухвалили одне лише рішення, про яке ми просили щоразу, коли ми в Україні на засіданнях Ставки Верховного Головнокомандувача обговорюємо російський ракетний і дроновий терор, ми говоримо і про наших партнерів, які вже допомагають чи можуть нам допомогти захистити небо. На жаль, слова «Ізраїль» і «ізраїльські» при цьому не звучать. Звичайно, це рішення вашої держави, ваших урядів. Схоже, воно було ухвалене ще давно, в 2014 році, коли Росія почала агресію проти України. Рішення не дратувати Кремль, не допомагати Україні реально. І я підкреслюю, ще з 2014 року ми просили Ізраїль про допомогу, але така тяглість політиків. Хоча, якби ми одразу могли убезпечити наше небо, коли зіткнулися з ракетною і дроновою загрозою у Росії, зараз не було б навіть мотиву йти в Іран і щось пропонувати йому в обмін на сприяння в терорі. Але так сталося. І я вважаю, що можна позбавити сенсу цей їхній альянс, якщо ми будемо діяти разом. Ми з вами, так само, як і з іншими демократіями. Пані та панове, російські посадовці і пропагандисти дуже відверті. Вони ненавидять те, що ми живемо вільно, захищаємо свою культуру. Вони навіть назву Україна стараються не говорити. Вони бажають нам усім смерті. Днями навіть один з відомих російських пропагандистів абсолютно відкрито закликав спалювати українських дітей просто у хатах, де вони живуть, або топити в річках, як тільки діти скажуть, що вони українці. Ось це рашизм. Рашизму допомагає Іран, отримуючи щось за це для себе. Нам допомагають багато демократичних країн, але ми хотіли би і вашої допомоги. Звичайно, що б там не було, ми не відмовимось від своєї боротьби. Ми хочемо простих і зрозумілих речей: звільнити свою землю, гарантувати безпеку своєму народу, дати мир українцям. Ми будемо і надалі захищати, і я впевнений, захистимо Україну і нашу свободу, нашу спільну свободу усіх демократичних країн. Я щиро дякую вам за нагороду, якою ви відзначили цю нашу боротьбу. Але чи не час і вашій державі обрати, з ким ви? Чи з демократичним світом, який пліч-опліч бореться проти екзистенційної загрози своєму існуванню, чи з тими, хто заплющує очі на російський терор навіть тоді, коли ціною продовження терору є повна руйнація глобальної безпеки. Я вірю, що ви дасте справедливі відповіді на мої запитання, бо це запитання насправді не про політику, а про цінності. Про цінності, які нас з вами все ж об'єднують. Об'єднують навіть тоді, коли в політиці ми не співпадаємо. Я дякую народу Ізраїлю за розуміння і допомогу, зокрема медичну, яку ми отримали від вашого суспільства. Дякую вам і усім, і медіа Ізраїлю, які поширюють правду про цю війну і засуджують російський терор. І дякую всім вашим людям, які виходили на вулиці після початку повномасштабної війни. І ми бачили, нас підтримують в землі обітованій. Я вірю, що ми побачимо підтримку й у небі. Дякую за увагу і бажаю всім вам миру і перемоги. Слава Україні!
That just makes me want to stand up and shout. There's so many powerful moments in that. First of all, he says, we're thankful for support from the promised land. So that's spot on. But he talks about something important, and he tries not only to talk directly to Israel, but now with translation, the world gets to experience this, and we're going to do our part to share it. He talks about values over politics. He talks about right versus wrong, and recognizing that this world is changing, and if we do not stop it, we're going in a direction that we do not want to go. He talks directly about the terrorists in Russia, the terrorists in Iran, and he's calling on Israel and all the world to help. That was a great statement by your president, bud.
Well,
Phenomenal.
I believe it's really important now to in this moment to all the countries to see the reality. It's nothing to support Ukraine in this moment. It doesn't mean to be agree with all the politics Ukraine has. It's okay to be disagree and having own like ways, but when it's come about the aggressor who is threatening the world, ignoring all international agreements and the law and relationship and the society and all the requests for the nations, he just ignores. This is the moment we need to stop and put aside the politics disagreement and different views on that and stand together to stop the aggressor, because if we would change the aggressor and we would travel in the time, and I would say we need to stop the Hitler. Doesn't matter what background we had, all of us, we need to understand we need to stop him. Yeah, for everybody it will be yes, it's obvious he's Hitler.
There's a book in the US.
Doesn't matter. Okay, the languages doesn't matter, the flags, the culture, the histories, economic levels of the country and the politics, the perspectives and systems doesn't matter. At this moment we need to stop him, get back to normal, to the law, regulations, and then yes, then we will continue
Work together.
This moment it's like we're playing with the nuclear weapon. Why? I mean, like Russia.
Well, we say it like this: we're playing with fire, and the fire's got to be put out, and that is the terrorist regimes, not only in Russia but in Iran. We're going to see China solidify further. It's madness what's happening. Your president made a great statement, and you did as well. We have to find the things that unite us, and the most important thing is stopping the aggressor, stopping the terrorism, and then we can come together and figure out how to work this world together in peace. You'll never have peace with a dictator. Never. So, Zelynskyy, phenomenal job today. Great update on day 243. 8 months. All right, my man. Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you for staying 8 months with us, with Ukraine, with our people. And I mean, with our people, not just in Ukraine, with our people worldwide, in your countries, in your places, in your refuge centers, in your homes. Thank you. 8 months you're helping.
Do peremoka. I spoke
Yeah.
Ukrainian.
Yeah.
To victory. All right, my
Yes.
friends. We love you. Appreciate it, Jacob.
Okay.
Good night to all.
To all, a good night.